Last time I think we did regarding this Hibernate, right? I think Pratik was not available, right? I'll just recap it. I mean, just just kind of revision. It's been I think 2 days gap. So what we did is, right, the Hibernate. Pratik, I'll upload the video also. You can go through the video also. I did not upload it. So what actually we did it, right, instead of using the common JDBC what we used in our previous examples, right, where we made the connection, we put all these string database string, database name, and in order to connect to the DB, or in order to execute some query on database, we used the connection created by ourselves, right? We did create the connection, we did write the SQL connection, and executed it, right? And whatever the response comes, we need to parse it, we need to get it and parse it, and fetch it ourselves. So all these handlings, so if there is too much of code what we write when we use JDBC, so there are certain advantages why we migrating to Hibernate. As I told you, today you are using MySQL, tomorrow you are going to use Oracle. uh, you need to, if you're using JDBC, you are writing all the queries, right? You need to change those query which are dependent on MySQL vendors. But if you use Hibernate, there won't be any situations which will come ever, that will be, that will, solve your problem. I mean, you don't have to migrate the queries, you don't have to change the queries, you don't have to do anything. Simply go and change the. Okay, so you have to go to, only one properties file. There you only change the DB, and that's it. No more worries, no more things, right? So what we did last day, in the last session, right? We had, no, to enable Hibernate. We had created a file, hibernate.cfg.xml file, right? And there we had put Hibernate configurations in session factory. We had put all these SQL SQL details, MySQL details, what dialect, what driver, what is database name, what is username, password, what kind of auto update or auto create, what we want, right? Whether we want to see the SQL statement, and what is our model class, right? This is very important to understand how does Hibernate works, right? So this is the mapping class which Hibernate will use to map the models, right? So your employee class, what we did is we wrote at the rate entity. That means we are telling Hibernate that, okay, this employee is a class, type of class, and we are using the custom table name. This is not mandatory. This you should use only when you want the table name apart from something which is the class name. So if you want something apart from the class name, different from the class name, you can use this annotation. Now this id at the rate id, every a table must have a primary key. What is actually primary key? A primary key is a key which identifies a particular row uniquely. So if I explain you the primary key, the role of the primary key in a table is something like, so there could be different no, number of employees, right? And there is a highly chances, there are high chances, I mean, sorry, there are high chances that the same name employee could be numerous times, right? There could be four Divakar working in a same company, and there could be three Amika name or three Pratik name, right, working in the same firm or in the same college studying, right? So you are maintaining a table, something like, ID, your employee ID, then the name, then the age, and then the salary, right? And the name could be, right, Amika can be here also, Amika can be here also, then some again, and then could be again, right? So if I tell you, okay, find me the details, get me the detail of Amika, right? So what will happen? the immediate question will ask, you will ask that there are three Amika, right? There are three employees with the name Amika. Which detail you want, right? How do you distinguish them, right? So there could be a confusion. So what actually happens, right? To distinguish each and every detail of that employee, what actually generally we put is employee ID. So if you work, or you will eventually you will be working in a company, right? They'll provide you an employee ID, and through which you will be uniquely identified. So employee ID will not be same for two employees. It will always be unique for every employee. And there is also one more condition is that employee ID cannot be null. It can't be left empty, because that is used for uniquely identification. And that's the reason we need that kind of ID. And in SQL statement, or in SQL language, or in SQL context, we call that as a primary key. Okay, so primary key is a column in a table, as you will say, the value which uniquely identifies. So if I say, okay, employee ID 5, that can be only one and only one ID with employee ID 5, and that can uniquely be identified. In Gmail and all these accounts, what you are using, your your unique ID is your Gmail account ID, the email ID, sorry. So that email ID is uniquely identifying, because if you try to create a new account, and you put the same email ID what you had created before, it will tell you that employee ID already exists. It can't be duplicate. So primary key can't be duplicate, it can't be null, and that's the reason we uniquely identify it. Okay, you can use even a phone number as a primary key. These are the details which can be used. Okay, so that's what the primary key is in SQL statement. So primary key I am putting here, this ID, if I am annotating with ID, see, at the rate, if we are giving in Java, this at the rate means it is called the annotation. And if I put annotation, it means there is a certain kind of properties which we are providing to this particular field. So here, if I am putting employee ID and then at the rate ID, that means I am telling that, okay, employee ID, it is going to be primary key. It can't be null. It can't be left empty. It can't be duplicate. And what I am giving here at the rate generated value, it means this employee ID will be generating automatically. It will be like auto incremental, and it will start from 1. It will go on incrementing by 1. So it will never be duplicate, right? If I first record you enter, it will be 1. Second record you enter, it will be 2, 3, 4, and so on, right? And then we put this column name. You can put it anything. Again, this is not necessary. If you don't put, by default, we'll take employee ID. But there is a naming convention differs in SQL, and generally in SQL all the column names, table names should be in caps. Generally people prefer to write like that. But in Java all the variable names are in camel case. So people generally prefer to use the overridden names. So we are overriding the column name. We're telling no, don't keep employee name like this. Put it like employee underscore name in caps, right? So what actually it happens, right? So whenever we try to insert a record of employee into the DB, the first thing is that we don't need to provide employee ID. The first thing, right? It will automatically get generated while inserting into the MySQL. Second thing, the employee name and employee address, what you will provide to the Hibernate, the internally it will check whether the employee table is present in MySQL or not. If it is not, it will create an employee table like this, employee underscore TBL. It will create 3 columns, employee ID, employee name, and employee address, and then it will insert the data what we are looking for, right? So this is what pretty much we did. And to get the data of this particular session factory, we had written a particular class where we can get the session factory, and which is doing this Hibernate configuration, applying settings, applying properties, and giving me the session factory through which we can get the session factory. That is the details of this SQL statements, connection details. And then while inserting, what we were doing is, like suppose save employee wording, right? Passing the employee object, we are getting the session factory from there, and we are creating a session. Session means like it's a beginning a transaction, just like you're inserting a ATM into the ATM card into the ATM, and then you press it and then do the withdrawal, right? So as soon as you do the withdrawal, right, it fetches the connects session factory, and the session factory is that you can execute certain of commands, certain of SQL statements, SQL commands in between that session only. So till this you see this open session and the close session. Whatever the transaction you want to do, whatever SQL statement you want to execute, you need to do between these limit only. So once you open the session, it is something like it is opening a window, it is opening a gate. Okay, it's opening a gate, and then you can start your transaction, do whatever you want to do, get over your transaction, commit it, and close the session immediately. So this provides a very what a security also. It provides a very elegant way to do the SQL statement executions. And there are few other certain advantages of using that is, if you fetch same data again and again, Hibernate will not go and fetch it again and again. It will, once it will fetch it, and that's all. Next time, until unless there is some change in database, then only it will fetch it again. So we had done this save employee, right? And I think we did get employee also. So what I will do is I'll just run it again, so that okay, and let me see, where is that? Okay, what DB I was using. Okay, okay, so if you see employee table, what I will do is drop employee, drop table employee, and also TBL. So if I do show table, there is no table, as you can see, right? Now what I will do is I'll execute this one. What I'm doing here, I am from main method, I am creating one employee object. I am setting the name and the address. Again, employee ID 2, setting the name and the address. And then from employee DAO, I am calling save employee 1, employee 2. So this is my employee 1. And this is my employee 2, right? And I'm saving those two employees, right? So once we call on this, it goes to our this DAO, and then DAO takes this employee object, create a session factory, create a session, open a transaction, session.save. It is saving this employee object directly, and we are simply passing the employee object. Internally, it executes a SQL statement, insert the data. So let's see how it works. So if I run it, we'll see that first it will do something like, 1 second. Okay, so first thing what it will do is the first record insert into the employee TBL, right? So as you can see here, it is telling that okay, table not found, employee table, table not found, employee table, and then it says that okay, schema update complete. That means if table is not found, a schema update complete means they have created the schema. The schema means they have created the table, and then we are inserting this one employee object and then the second employee object. So while seeing that the second employee object, when it was inserting, right, you will see that there is no error, something like there is no table, right? As you can see here, everything is here. So there is no error like okay, there is no table present or something. It only tells in the first time when the table was not present. As you can see, table not found. If you see the console here, console log, there is nothing like there, like okay, a table is not found. So if you see here, somewhere table found is there, somewhere it will be, yeah. So here, as you can see, table found, Java session employee TBL, right? And these are the columns. It is saying that okay, these are the columns: employee address, employee ID, employee name. These are the columns they have found. And let me see here now. Employee TBL is there, and if I do select star from employee underscore table, I will be able to see the details. Okay, there is a spelling mistake, that's the reason. Okay, so as you can see here, right, record has been inserted, right. We did also that we tried to fetch the value. How we can get it is that we have to pass the employee ID to it, and we'll created the employee DAO, and then employee DAO, that we are passing this employee ID. So we have a employee ID, and then it will go session factory again. It will begin transaction, and it will say, okay, get session.get. What kind of object will return? That employee class and employee ID. So we'll provide the employee ID as 2 because we don't have 3, and we'll see whether we are getting or not. Yeah, we are getting that, right? So C and US, right? So as you can see here, we are able to get the data. We are able to insert the data without writing any SQL statement, right? So that's the best part of using the Hibernate. Now there are three things are left which we can cover. We can get the list of employees as well. Right now, if you see here, I am doing something like employee get employee, right? I am passing one ID only. What if I have more records? Let me insert some more records. So Pratik, okay, let it be India only, and then again okay, let it be US. Okay, and let me just comment out this one and let me insert. Okay, so I hope that both the things are inserted, and let's see. So we have total 4 records, 1 2 3 4. This is employee address and the employee name, right? Now as you can see here, to get the, now I'll just comment out this code, no more needed. And to get the date list of employees, what we need to do right now, if I see employee DAO, if I am this class I have written employee DAO, and it has only save employee and get employee, and this get employee is asking me for only one employee ID, right? And I need to pass this employee ID, and it will give me only that record whose employee ID I am passing it, right? But what I want is the list of all the employees, right? So let me just write one custom method, public list of employees. So we'll write something like this. What happened to my Eclipse? I don't know. Okay, list of employees, get list of, or we'll write get all employees. Okay, and we don't have to pass any ID to it. I just want all the list of employees whatever present in the DB for that particular. So what actually we need to do is create first here also employee emp list equal to null and return list. Okay, so yeah, what do we need to do here? We need to first, obviously these 3 things is necessary, right? Get the session factory, open the session, open transaction, and then what we need to do is there is a way through which you can get the list, and that is session dot create query from whatever your table name is. Let me do one thing. There is a problem with the table name what I have mentioned. given that this EMPLOYEE, right? Okay, let it be. Again I have to insert, otherwise let it be this one only. Okay, so I have to give this class name. You don't have to provide the table name here. Simply you write from employee, that's all. And to list. Okay, so this will provide the list of all the employees which are present in that, and it will automatically give me this particular list. So okay, so this what I'm doing is here session I'm taking create query. Actually this is called the Hibernate queries. You don't have to mention the table name, you don't have to write the queries. If you want all the employees, okay, simply write from employee. There is no condition, nothing, from employee, and then do dot list. So it will give you the array list, the list of that, and it will put into the this one, and you are returning that particular list to whoever is calling here. So from main, what I will do is from main app, I need to get the all the employees. So I'll write displaying all the employees in the table. Okay, so list of employee emp list equal to employee DAO. Firstly I have to create the object of this here. So DAO dot get all employees, right? So it will give me the list of all the employees. Okay, and I can show it now. So employee e equals to employee list. This is the for each loop I'm using it, and then SYSO employee ID first, get ID, name, and then the address. Okay, so let's see whether it is able to fetch the data or not. Yeah, as you can see here, what Java Hibernate has executed is select employee ID, employee address, okay, employee name as this from that particular table, right? So it will not tell you each and everything. It will give you a heads up. So it is selecting everything without any condition. If there would have been any condition, it could have been written here. So without any condition, as you can see here, employee ID 1 2 3 4, and we are able to get name, we are able to get the address without writing any queries. Okay, and if you see here that if you execute this statement again, suppose I'll write something like this, and instead of employee list, I'll write employee list 1. Okay, and so what will happen is it will put into their cache, and see here, so it'll put into the cache and it will return. But okay, I have closed the session, that's the reason. Okay, just a second. So what actually I'm doing is I'm closing the session. So 1 second. So here I'm getting the employee ID. Okay, it's actually in different anyways. What I was planning to do, what I was telling is, once you get the employees here, right, and if you try to get it again, okay, if you write the same statement again here to get it no data again from the this one, it will not execute the SQL statement again. So because we are, as we are getting it from another method context, it is executing it again. But if you get, suppose you have a big a method here, and which will call the get the data again and again. So in that case, it will not create it will not close the session, and it will not get this execute this query again and again. So what actually happens is, once it gets from the DB, it actually puts into the Hibernate cache internally. You don't have to worry about how it happens, but it does put into the Hibernate cache and persist it there, so that next time if you ask them, it will provide you from the cache rather than again establishing a connection to MySQL and get it for you. Okay, so yeah, we did something like get employee by ID. So this is by, it's like get employee by ID, and this is saving the data. And similar way we can have another methods like public void delete employee, and for that we need employee, what employee object you want to delete it. Okay, so again you need to have this SQL common thing right here. Okay, so let me, okay, I forgot to close this here. Session dot get transaction dot commit, and then session dot close. Okay, so yeah, so here what we need to do is, whatever the employee object it gives, right, so we can say session dot delete. Okay, so session dot delete, and you provide the employee object to it, and it will delete for you. So again, then session dot get transaction dot commit. Commit, actually what it does is, it make changes. I'll tell you about this rollback and commit just a while. Okay, actually why I'm writing this particular statement, get transaction and transaction commit, right? What actually happens is, suppose you are inserting 10 records, okay, and to do a transaction, your 10 SQL queries has to execute. The first row, I think if you would have studied about the SQL, there is a rule called the ACID properties, ACID, okay. If you can query on internet, Google, you will find out the ACID properties of SQL statement. SQL, simply write it, ACID property of database. It's called atomic in nature. Every SQL statement is atomic in nature. Either it get executed or it get back to the original position. So there is no state as hung state, or there is no something like, okay, hanging or disrupted or something, nothing like that. C stands for, if I remember, ECID. I forgot. Just let me. I forgot the name. What acid? What is the name? Yeah, atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. Forget about all these things. Consistency is nothing but it's always should be consistent. It should be always isolated from one query to another query. Durability means it should take as less as time. Okay, main thing is here atomicity. The main property of a SQL statement is atomicity. What happens, right? See, once you go to ATM and you try to withdraw the money, right, it's not like only one SQL statement would be executed there. There could be plenty of statements could be executed there. What? Suppose your credit card is linked with your two accounts. So when you withdraw the money or your from your debit card, it updates your daily transactions details. It updates your what I say balance. It updates your liabilities. It updates your other data. It updates your SQL. I don't know, there could be around 10 or 12. I think I have, if I'm correct, there are around 170 queries what Citibank uses to do for one particular ATM transactions. So imagine there are around 170 SQL statements gets executed internally once you withdraw the money. What do they do with that? Actually, what happens if you withdraw the money and that one set of like 170 or whatever, I mean, let it be five only for simple one. So to update all the data whenever you withdraw the money, 5 SQL statement has to be fired. Okay, and all 5 has to be done successfully. Every place is that okay, this money has been withdrawn from this ATM, this money has been withdrawn by this person with this card at this time, whatever the details, right? So these things has to be inserted on all these databases. One of this has failed, it will not let you withdraw the money. It will tell you that we are experiencing some problem, you can't do that. Now what will happen? Suppose there are 5 SQL statement, 3 has been executed properly, that it has deducted your amount, it has deducted that okay, you got a SMS that okay, your balance is deducted, but money did not come. So that means 3 SQL statement has executed, last 2 SQL statement is not executed. Now it has to roll back. Because the atomicity tells that you cannot have something in the middle of state. Either you complete all 5 executions or you come back to the original position. What happens? Immediately you get another message that okay, we have refunded your money in your account. Okay, whatever the money was deducted. Maybe sometimes some bank does some unethical things, that they do not give the money and you have to write applications, you have to go to the bank, get it check with them. Sometimes once it has happened to me. Otherwise generally it happens. City banks I have seen, they generally do that. I mean, I have faced 2-3 times. Maybe you guys might have faced that kind of situations, right? So that rollback, how it happens? So what actually happens is, in any SQL, right, whatever query you write, it does not get affected in the DB immediately. Okay, it gets into the cache, it gets in the kind of volatile memory. Once you say okay, commit, okay, once you explicitly say okay, commit, I am done with all the SQL statement, then you make the final change in your DB. So if you see like something, okay, if you're not committing, okay, if you're not committing any changes, it will not go into the DB. It will simply say okay, we have trying to insert it, but as you are not committing, we will roll back to the original position. And that's how it helps it. So it's something like you have written 3 SQL statement, okay, and these 2 has been executed. So till now execution is done into the main memory only. It is nothing to do with your MySQL database. Once this also gets complete, you say okay, commit. Now that the change transfer to the MySQL, that okay, now it's commit. Now suppose only after 2 SQL statement it got failed here, and obviously this is still in main memory, it will simply flush it out. Just roll back to the original position, and that's it. It will act as nothing has happened. Okay, everyone understood, right, this concept, roll back and commit? Which one I have opened? This one? Okay. Oh, I think, oh, this is another project. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so okay, so we did get all employees, we did get delete employees, right? And So save employee, get employee by ID, get all employee, and delete employee we have written but we didn't execute yet. So let me see that. And here instead of now displaying this, before that I'll just delete it so that you can so employee emp equals to new employee, and emp dot set employee ID. Suppose I want to delete with ID 4. Okay, and okay, so we'll write something like DAO dot delete employee and emp. Okay, so it should delete that and it should give us the result. Okay, now as you can see the employee size, it is saying 3. Yeah, it deleted the fourth record, right? We had 4 record, right? USA Amica, right? So I think it has been deleted. Yeah, it's been deleted, right? So we only need to provide the employee ID, nothing else, no details. So to delete that, only set the employee ID, and based on that it will delete the particular record. Okay, similarly you can do other things, like you can delete in one shot. So that also you can do. This is delete by ID, and if you want to delete all, simply you need to write so public void delete all employees. Okay, and delete all employees, what actually it will do is you can do so again get the transaction, and then again session dot create query, and then you will write delete from employee. That's all. Okay, so delete from employee, and that's all. That's what you need to do. And session, okay, let me do one thing. Session dot I'll not do this particular uh, commit, and let's see what happens. DAO dot delete all employees. Okay, so these 3 details are still there because we haven't committed. So let me now change this to commit. So session dot I need to, okay, sorry, I forgot to do this. Execute update. Okay, so execute update, still showing the data, right? That means we haven't committed the session. Let me commit and see it. Session dot get transaction dot commit, and then session dot close. Okay, now if I run it, I think it should delete it. Right now, till now it's still there. Yeah, it's still there. Okay, great. So delete from employee table, and it didn't display anything. That means it has deleted here, right? So what is happening? Delete from employee table, it did execute, right? Then what is the problem? doing anything wrong? Think execute query is not needed, but how it will execute? Okay, lock timeout exceeded. Delete from table. Okay, there is some issue with. Check it. Session delete from this. Begin transaction. Get transaction. Get close. Right. Everything is fine. DAO delete all employees. Yeah. But why it is not executing the delete one? Okay, so there, let me just check it. So delete what I had written previously. It should delete that query execute update is needed. Okay, but it didn't help. Query.execute update. That's what I did. It should have ideally deleted. Let me see. Okay. Session.open session. I don't know why it is stuck here. Delete from employee table. Okay, anyways, I'll check it. I think it should have worked. I'm missing something here. Employee delete from employee table, and I am calling this method. It's coming here. Delete from employee. That is our class name, right? Delete. Delete from employee, execute update, commit, and close. Okay, it is not able to. It's getting timed out. The timed out. Lock. It is not able to get the lock. Okay, why so? 1 second. Okay, currently I'm not able to figure it out what is happening. I'll just check it. Okay, we'll see this one. Okay, apart from this particular delete all, delete, and get all employees, get employee, save employee, right? We are left with one more API what we can use it, and which is the last one is the update. and this also public void update employee. You can provide the employee and you can update it. So what again, you write all this here, and instead of writing these, you can do session dot update, and you can provide the particular employee object, whatever this one. Okay, so currently we have three employee in our table, and suppose we want to change the name of Pratik to Patel. Okay, so what we need to do, so what I will do is, what is the employee ID? The employee ID is 3. Okay, so what we can do here, I'll just comment out this one, and so we'll create employee object, employee emp equals to new employee, and we have set the employee set employee ID as 3. That means, okay, change value for 3, employee dot what field we want to change, right? So name, so we'll write Patel. Okay, so it should change the employee ID, sorry, employee name of employee ID this. So make sure that you are providing the employee ID which is the existing one. Okay, so if I run it now, it should update. I have no clue why it is not working. Something I'm missing here. This is also stuck, and this will also throw error later. Okay, some problem is happening somewhere. Let me check. Okay, so oh sorry, I didn't call only. Okay, DAO dot update employee and employee. Okay, so we are passing that employee object, whatever we have created, right? We are telling that, okay, update this particular employee, and yeah, update employee table, set address question mark employee name, where employee ID equal to question mark. And if you see here, right, why it's behaving abnormally, it is not printing the value, it is stuck, it is getting stuck here. What did I change? What did I change? Okay, so we're not doing anything, simply employee DAO, then we're getting employee object, employee set, again this has thrown error. Okay, and employee set ID name, and I'm calling the update. Update will get the session factory, get the session, open session, transaction, update, transaction, close. That's all. Okay, let me try again. It should work perfectly fine. Nope, I think something. What did I change here? Okay, let me see. Employee DAO, session factory, opening session, then beginning the transaction, updating it, and getting the transactions. Lock timeout. Try restarting the transaction. Okay, maybe there should be some issue with. So tables. So let me try deleting. Maybe there might be some DB corruption might have happened. Let me just try this. Yeah, I'm not able to drop the table. Okay, this is the problem. I'm seeing that. That's why all these things are not working. Okay, let me just restart the. Sometimes in MySQL it's a free, right? So it goes use Java session. So tables drop table. Okay, yeah, there is some problem with this. This one will. What I will do is exit from this. Bye bye. I was thinking there is some issue with our code. Okay, so database is, and we'll use MyDB. So tables. Okay, so there is no table as employee underscore TBL, right? So that is fine for us. So we'll use MyDB. So what I'm going to do is I'll change here. I'll just simply use MyDB database and simply run it. But to run this, I need to insert the data first. Yeah. So what I need to do is I'll insert these two records. Okay, so we have this employee 1, employee 2. Okay, we are inserting this, and getting part will not be doing here now. This is delete employee, will not be doing now. So we need to first attempt. Let me insert first. So I'm commenting everything here. Okay, fine. So yeah, and just let me display. Displaying can be done now. Just let me run this. Insert and it will display. Yeah, so it has inserted perfectly fine. So just let me check it. Yeah, employee table has been created. So select star from. Okay, so two fields are there. Now let me just run the update. So uncomment this one. Okay, and employee ID for 2 will change the name to Patel. Okay, and let me see. Okay, Patel address is this. Yeah, so as you can see here, right? Oh, this has inserted because I haven't commented on that one. But as you can see, the employee ID, the name has been changed to Patel, right? I forgot to uncomment that one. Okay, I forgot to uncomment this one. Yeah, so update is happening. Let me run this delete all. Okay, so what I will do is, now everything should work. The problem was with. Yeah, it has deleted. If you can see here, right, delete from all this, and displaying, it has nothing to display. So if I go and check it, it's nothing here, right? So yeah, everything seems to be working fine. So you can do all these operations what we had covered. So CRUD operations, I was mainly, mainly I was planning to cover it. Any questions so far? I think in Hibernate, I'm not going to cover more than this. So if you have any questions, if you want to, but try to set up in your local environment. I think it will be little complicated than other application setup, because it requires a Maven project. So I'll tell you one thing, how you can install the Maven is go to the help, okay, and you can check it here, install new software, okay, and here you can provide the Maven's link to install. So Maven Eclipse plugin URL, okay, so here it will give you the URL. So this URL, you copy this and you put it here and click on add and name as a MVN or something like that, okay, and put it like this. So once you do this, it will come as Maven integration for your Eclipse, okay. Select this, next, install, and done. So once you do this, right, so after you do that, if you right click on this, if you click on new, you click on other, and you search for MAVEN Maven, you can see that Maven project option will come once you install that, and then click on next. Select this one, create a simple project. Select this, then create on next. Give this name a group ID, artifact ID, and version. I won't explain much what is this, and it's just like separating the, just like package, right? Project name you are separating. So something like, right, something like Hibernate or com example dot Hibernate, and put the artifact ID as something like my Hibernate or something. Put version as 1.0. The packaging, keep it as a jar only because you are going to create jar, and finish it. So it will create a my Hibernate project. As you can see here, my Hibernate project. It will have 3-4 directories. Don't worry about all these directories. Only your concern is src main Java, src resources. Put your hibernate.cfg file in src main resources. Put all your Java code in src main Java, okay, and the entry what you need to provide in this pom.xml, just after version, write like dependencies, okay, and inside the dependency you need to provide the jars what are the needed for that, okay. So in example, as I covered this one, right, you need to put, yeah, sorry, this one, put these 3 dependencies. That means you are telling that, okay, I need to download these jars. If you see, right, if you go on internet, you will find out that Hibernate core, these jar is available. This is nothing but, I'll just tell you what actually it is. So yeah, what is the version? 436, 4.3.6 final jar Maven. So if you write like this, you will see that it will take you to the Maven repository website. See here, mavenrepository.com, and here you can download the particular jar here from directly. If you click on this, it will download that particular jar, and then you can copy this and put into your here one library folder is there, right? You can put it here, my Hibernate, right? You can create one directory, something like lib, and you can place this and you can add it to the class path. But we don't want to do that. The Maven what actually does is, you just Maven, you tell that, okay, I need the dependency, these things I need, these are the jars what I need in my project, and it will download it for you, okay. So from where it will download, and that's what it is I have copied here. If you see here, it is telling that either you download from here or put an entry in your Maven pom xml file as something like this, okay, org Hibernate and org core 436 final and dependency. So you can simply put this information here and it will download for you. Same thing for SQL connector, we don't have to do manually, you can simply find it out, okay. Just like Maven, there are Ivy, there are Grape, there are Gradle, there are Builder, there are SBT, there are Legin, and many project tools are there. No need to worry about all this. So we are just bothered about Maven dependencies. Just download it, set it up, run it and check it yourself. Okay, Maven is a very handy tool. I think if you start applying for jobs, right, if you are a developer, they will expect you to know Maven. So I would request you to learn about Maven also if you have some time. It's called the project management tool. Okay, so you can find plenty of videos on internet, YouTube, about Maven. Just give it a try, learn about it. It's a really very good thing. It manages many things. It from compilation to packaging to testing to deploying to some server, integration, many things it handles. So give it a try. Okay. Any questions so far? I'll wind up the session, and tomorrow I'll start Spring. Okay. So if you have any question in Hibernate, you can tell me now.
No questions.
No questions?